Hello, sisters, and welcome to today's Women Rising. Today, we are in for a special treat. We are doing an artist spotlight. These spotlights are here to highlight the artists that have helped create the Women Rising event and have shared their creative gifts in helping express the message that we are here to express and to share with you. And you might have heard the music in the video or any of the music that opens up any of the videos. And you might even recognize her from the website banner. And today we have with us Marya Stark. And Marya Stark is an award-winning songwriter, performer, and recording artist in Santa Cruz. She works with women as an integral vocal mentor and leads workshops globally called Voice of My Womb. And today, that's what she's going to be sharing with us, Voice of My Womb. And she has been such an incredible inspiration for me personally. I would listen to her music while I was creating the summit or while I was writing the emails that you've been getting. It's also been, her workshops have also been powerful for me too. And that's actually where I first met her, was a workshop she did. And I was just so inspired and blown away by her workshop style. And so it's really a privilege to have her here today to share her work with us. So welcome. It's such an honor to have you here.
Thank you. It's such a delight to be here. I'm so happy that you're putting this summit together and moving this movement forward.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about your collaboration with Scarlet Crow in your debut album, Remembrance?
I would love to. Yeah. Carmen Crow, aka Mama Crow, is a dear friend of mine. We've been sisters on this musical path for almost 8 years now. And 2 years ago, we decided to go on a tour together. And at first we were going to just be learning each other's songs and kind of doing a co-headlining acoustic tour. And what emerged from that time together was this deeper thread of interweaving. And so we've been playing together as Scarlet Crow for 2 years. We've recorded an album of 12 songs that Kalia Santilla helped to co-produce with us, and it's sounding really juicy and amazing, and it's coming out May 2nd. We have a music video that just came out last week, and it's just such an honor to get to be this connected musically with another person. I've learned so much from Carmen and from our friendship and from deeply collaborating in this way. It's been one of the greatest gifts of music and friendship of my life. And we're so excited to share the music. And it's, yeah, like, again, we came together as sort of to go deeper into some of the songs that we were both carrying that held these messages around the divine feminine, and just be in conversation and exploration. Like, what does that mean? Why is this important? And through that prayer, we actually had a council of women form, we call our Scarlet Crow Council, and with Laura Rainbow Jaguar and with Laurel Kitten and Tessa Shields. And the 5 of us actually traveled with our friend Marya as a unit throughout Southern California, leading these workshops and going deeper into these inquiries around, internalized capitalism and how trauma, like historical trauma, impacts our society now, and what can we do to actively be engaged in the dismantling of some of the spells that we've been in that are just part of our just like old stories that we've inherited. And so that's been a really powerful part of the process for me personally. And I'm just excited to share this medicine bundle that's carrying the hope and the prayer and that whole journey that we've been on together.
That is so beautiful. And the work you're doing is deeply inspiring and so important. So thank you for doing that. Definitely passionate. One of the things I always talk about is, how can we decolonize our culture. I'm so passionate about bringing awareness to how colonialism is still in effect and how we do things that are still harmful to other people and to the earth based on that structure that we're still going by. And you
Mm-hmm.
learn about all the atrocities about it in our history books, and yet we still are repeating those same mistakes. So it's really interesting how that plays out, and that's why I'm so passionate about the work you're doing and how you mentioned, like, letting go of those old stories and like how do we create something new and let go
Mm-hmm.
of things that just are no longer a part of who we are,
Mm-hmm.
as individuals, because I know that even though these things are a part of our culture, if you ask an individual, the majority, they're not going to want to do what it is that you're bringing awareness to them to do, if that makes sense. Like,
Mm.
people just don't know what they don't know, basically.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, and
Mm.
that's super exciting about your new album.
It's so exciting.
What a powerhouse collaboration. I love Mama Crow and I love Kalia Scintilla. So you just made me so excited to hear that.
Yeah. Yay, good.
Yeah, so speaking of songwriting, how is it that you did get into songwriting?
Songwriting for me, it started when I was a little kid. I was always writing songs throughout grade school and high school. A little bit more, it started picking up. But what I mark as a kind of a turning point for me in songwriting was when I started studying music therapy. I got my bachelor's in music therapy and am certified, and I've been a practicing music therapist for the last 10 years. And when I first took my intro to music therapy class, um, something got unlocked where I had been writing songs before, but I became kind of like, I went into a prolific sort of state with it where I was writing just like this waterfall, constant songwriting. And I learned a lot about myself through that process. And I learned a lot about songwriting through that process. And it's definitely evolved over years and writing so much. But it really started with learning about the power of music as a tool for healing and for transformation. And so I started really going at songwriting with that inquiry of like, well, how can songwriting be a process of self-realization? And it's been such a journey. And so throughout my whole schooling and education and in music therapy, it was such a powerful time because I was 18, 19, 20, 21. And I have been blessed to I've got to keep track of my whole emotional growth during those crucial years of psyche development and evolution. And it's really fun to have this sort of like net of, or just like a timeline in that way. And yeah, and I became really passionate about songwriting in that time, and it's definitely led to the work that I'm doing now with people, where I see the value of using songwriting as a way to both mourn and process and catharsis for unresolved grief and trauma and just psychological integration, as well as a vehicle for prayer and for transcendence and for accessing parts of our soul that are like hovering in these places. So it's like it's just such a powerful tool for healing and for embodiment. And so I love sharing that with other people and with women, and training others who want to experience that, how to strengthen and come more into their body through this process of songwriting.
Wow, that's really incredible. I love that. I had no idea that you were a music therapist. I just thought you were just that good. That's really amazing. I totally value how you take that, just because even without, the therapeutic aspect of it, I know how much music and how much, you know, dancing has influenced my own personal well-being and personal development. So I totally value that you are taking that another step further and using it as a vehicle to transcend, some really deep struggles that a lot of people are having. So that's incredible.
Mm.
Speaking of which, what exactly are you doing now with your integral vocal mentorship, and how did you get into working with women?
Great. Well, I, like I was sharing before, I think that one of the biggest pieces of personal growth and transformation that I'm currently inside of is, like we've been sharing, this decolonization and navigating and negotiating how we've internalized this colonialism into our psyche, into our being, and how that impacts our connection to the earth and connection to our soul. And so, because I love the voice and I love compassionate communication, and I've been on this journey of learning vibrational medicine and medical qigong therapy for my own health, for my own healing, I didn't really have an idea that it would turn into something that I would share with others. I was just really on the mission to sort of like write more interesting songs and like learning more about myself. And so that's where sort of the movement towards learning these modalities came from. But then after a while, a couple years ago, people just started coming to me and asking, "Hey, do you teach voice? Do you teach songwriting? Do you," like they wanted to have that kind of creative self-expression too. And so it became very natural to transition from working as a music therapist, mostly with people with special needs, and working with addiction recovery, and working with people who are dying, like working with a lot of different people, to working with women, because I had been just immersed in women's work myself with some really profound mentors and guides in my life, just showing me where I had been running energy in a masculinized way, and it had been really disconnected from my own feminized expression, and how that has been creating certain patterns in my own body that were leading to really intense menstrual cramps. And I just went on a journey with having to really slow down and access a lot more of my sort of sensual, soft energy. And it just got to a place where I felt so passionate about it that sharing with other people is just the natural next step. So I've been working with women for several years now, and over the last year and a half, it's really been primarily what I've been doing. And a lot of women that I'm working with, again, I see a pattern with a lot of women with this desire to have more access to their voice, whether it's through creative self-expression, whether it's through communicating their needs and values, whether it's like public speaking or telling a new story of their life. There's so much information that women are carrying, and everyone's carrying around their voice and their relational experience, and their singing voice. Like I think a lot of people just want to have that connection to their song and to their soul. And so yeah, working with women in this way has been so profound. So with integral vocal mentorship, I've been working one-on-one and in group settings with women, working on all of these things: vocal technique, vocal yoga, how to bring the voice through our whole body as a way to reweave and heal and repair some of the disconnect through our sexuality, using the voice as a creative self-expression, working on songwriting and channeling melody for the first time, and also working on compassionate communication, which is a deep seat of passion of mine, of really how do we develop emotional literacy and eloquence as a way to take a stand for our truth and what we're really here to bring through for this beautiful time of life that we have. There's so much that we are getting to rise to an occasion right now, because things are so dynamic. And so when we're all being called to rise to the occasion, we got to have as much of ourselves on board as possible. And so my way of supporting our tribe and doing that is through this kind of mentorship.
Thank you. That's such beautiful and powerful work that you do. It's so interesting seeing how much the voice and sound and music can really affect change, and how it was even helping you with your menstrual cramps, and how that was showing up in your body in that way, and how you gave a way for that to be expressed in a way that wasn't hurting you anymore. I think that's really interesting.
Mm,
Um, and I wanted to go deeper into that and ask
sure.
why developing the voice is so meaningful to you, and how what other benefits it might have.
Awesome. Developing the voice is so important to me personally because I have had such transcendent experiences with the voice where I really have been able to access states of consciousness and of somatic vibrancy that go beyond the sort of blocks of my mental realities and constructs. And so there's this sort of access point to that which is unseen. And I love having of the voice as a vehicle for that. Also, the voice is so beautiful because as like a music therapist, there's the poet in me who really is inspired by the craft of music therapy, and the philosophy behind it is that every human being is built and designed as an instrument. You know, our neurology is so profound, is that we have all of these different parts of our brain that work for higher consciousness or language development, fine motor skill, gross motor skill, you know, like just like survival, and all of these pieces are all working together. And what's really cool is that when we're involved in a musical experience like singing or dancing, it's the only time that our entire neurological system is working, it all comes online. And so for me, it's like, wow, it's part of our design, our natural design as instruments of vibration in this great cosmic symphony, to be as engaged with music as possible, which is, you know, and you see the history of music and global culture as being so interwoven with not only the development of culture and rites of passage, and being this really powerful and important keeper of the codes for our history, but it's also been a part of our evolution of our consciousness. When you see like the development of mathematics going along the development of music, and how they sort of like went back and forth. So even some of these sciences that are coming online that are progressing our development so much forward, it's like it all came along with the how we were able to perceive and understand the math and the science of music. So I'm fascinated by that stuff on a very like heady level. And when I think about that, like less esoterically, when we just get that into our body, is this dance of how the song is living inside of me, the song of creation that I'm a part of. And when I have access to my voice and to my full being, I get to really interact and paint my soul signature. Like I incarnated for a reason. There's a reason we're each here, and we each have this unique vocal signature that's just ours. And I feel like when we refine and hone in and really come into good relationship with that, it impacts all it. We get to come and really give the gift of our life to all of creation. And I feel like we all have so much magic to share. And yeah, I think coming into good relationship with our voice is so, it just helps us to all live our full life, our full expression in all aspects of what we're here to do. And also it's great health benefit. You know, when you sing, you start to, singing is one of the only things to help calm down the part of our nervous system that responds to fight or flight. So when like that, like primal, oh, like I'm going to freeze, that's just sort of trapped in our neurology, I think, from, again, old trauma. Singing is such a powerful process of helping to nourish that aspect and bring calming energy and peace to it. It vibrates all of our organs. It helps to release stress. It helps to release unprocessed emotional tension. It's just so good.
I love that. The way you speak about music and the voice is so incredibly profound. I never really thought, like, to know of our whole body as an instrument and see how it, like, that we, like, everything that we do is, you know, our, like, it's like your song, like my life as art. You know, it really inspires me because it's like my life is my art. This summit is part of my art. And So it really takes that to a whole new level when we understand that our body is physiologically designed to express itself in that way. It's really profound, and it really deeper into, I mean, why were we evolved to be designed that way? Like, you know what I mean? It goes beyond that, you know, survival of the fittest. It goes beyond even our current understanding of nature's design for evolution, if it's going to design us to do something like that, right? And going back to how music is really, you know, like even how our mathematics and our science has evolved as our music has evolved. It's really interesting that you say that, because on a personal, individual level, it's my passion and my immersement, is that a word? By immersing in myself in music and dance, and the dance and music community has really what amplified my own personal growth and my own personal development, and really took my understandings to just a greater, higher perspective. So even on a personal level, I see that. So it's really interesting to take that and even look in our history as a culture and our evolution as humanity, how music plays such an important part of that. I never, ever, ever thought of it like that before. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little more about Voice of My Womb, what these workshops are like, and what can we get, when can we get in on the fun?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Voice of My Womb is a immersive program that came from a work that I did called the Universe, which was a storytelling expressive arts therapy container run by my dear friend Serena Andrea, and it was a fabulous program, and I love it, being a part of that community. And through that process, we were doing so much deep inquiry around our feminine nature and what are the stories we carry as women, and inspired by hearing all of the women's stories that we were processing. All of these songs came through, inspired by the healing journey that we were all on as women. And so what has evolved from those songs is a 4-month workshop container where a group of women we come together and we go into discovering our own songs, the songs of the stories that we're holding in our womb for our journey. And so a lot of the work that we're doing is a lot of the stuff that I'm doing one-on-one with people, but in a group context, so that we're singing and weaving together. And we're going to be doing a lot of work on our lineage and on rites of passage, and looking at just the mysteries of the feminine and relationship, and doing this women's work, integral work, through the process and exploration and development of our voice, and then also coming into our song. And so it's an immersive expressive arts container. It's going to be a 4-month journey with several live events, and I'm planning on doing one in person in Santa Cruz and also one online for women that are in different parts of the world. And that is all going to be happening in the fall. So I'm really excited to be sharing that opportunity for women who really do. They want to do the transformational work through creative expression. And we get to go into all of these deeper weaves of what it is to be a woman, what has our journey been like, and find the keys and the codes and discover the songs there so that we can have them as an offering for our community, because I believe that when we harvest song from the going through the mourning and transformation of our own journey, and then offer that as medicine to our community, that really starts to unlock things for everyone. So I want to offer an opportunity for everyone to come in and get to do that harvest together.
Thank you. That sounds so incredible. I'll definitely have to catch one of those workshops, whether it's in person or the online one. And I know that you have a gift for our sisters. Would you like to share a little bit about that?
It's the song, right?
Yeah,
Unstoppable Joy.
yeah, Unstoppable
Yeah.
Joy. Woo!
Woohoo.
So the music is right under the video, so you can access the music right now, and it's on Bandcamp, and she's offering it for free, but it is a pay what you want. So if you love her music and you want her to continue doing more work, one of my passions is banishing the starving artist mentality, like our friend Aya says, and so really putting value in the arts where they are meant to be. Yeah, and some of you might remember Aya from last year's summit event. She was one of the speakers. And how can we best stay in touch with you?
You can come right up onto my website, which is marya-stark.com. And then if you get any of my music online, you'll be on from the Bandcamp, you'll be right connected to my web of communication. So you can come find me on Facebook too, Marya Stark Music. I'm everywhere. You can find me all over the internet.
Well, thank you. It's been such an honor to have you here and to share your music with our tribe and your creative work and your magic and the deep and powerful work that you're doing to support women in the world. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's been an honor to be here, and I hope all of the other workshops or interviews go amazing. And thank you so much, women, for joining me, and enjoy this music. I love you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, beautiful sisters, for joining us on today's Women Rising, where you can be empowered to rise into your healthiest, happiest, and most powerful self. Stay tuned for more and have a beautiful rest of your day.